What we have discussed about else if? What is else if? Or in another way we can say if else. What is if else ladder? How it is performing? Consider one if else combination is there. Correct. Again inside else part this will be repeating. Correct. If else combination is repeating inside else part. That is how we discussed yesterday the programs and all, right? We discussed lot of programs. So when it comes to this point, when it will come to this condition, if the first condition is not satisfying, it will directly come to the else part and it will perform the second condition. It is like plan A, or if plan A is not executable, then we will go for the plan B. If plan A is executing, like plan A is satisfiable, then I don't have to check for plan B, right? So same case is performing here. So where it is nesting inside else block. Again if I have one more condition, where I will keep? Which else? Inside this block, right? Again it will come if and else combination here. So if and else you are understanding what is that, right? So based on this different structure we are making different variants of if. So here if and else is nesting inside else block. So if one condition is not satisfying, we will go for the another condition. In that way it will perform. Any doubt in this? Yes or no? Fine. So what will be nested if? What will be nested if? Because else is if else ladder is already explained yesterday. What will be nested if? Inside if block inside if block we will write the nest the if else again. So inside this if block we are creating if and else combination. Again if I have another condition, where will I write? Inside the second if block. Understanding? So this is nested if. We are nesting this if and else combination inside if block. So nested if and if else ladder is there. If else ladder we discussed already. So it is like plan A, plan B, plan C kind of. We can select whatever plan is executable. Which plan is satisfying, that plan we will do. Like it will be in an order. First the priority will be what? Plan A. If plan A is not executing, then we will go for the plan B. Based on the priority, right? Based on the order which we are giving. Correct. Here what is this? This is nested if. We are nesting if and else combination inside if block. So how this will perform? Consider one condition is there. When this condition will be check. When we will check this condition? If first condition is satisfying, then what we will do? We will go for the second condition. If second condition is also satisfying, then we will go for the third condition. Understanding? So when we will reach this portion, this line of code, all the given conditions, if all the conditions are satisfying, we will reach this line of code. Correct. So you can use this for a situation where to perform one case, if you have to check multiple items. For performing one logic, if you have to go through multiple conditions. For one item, multiple conditions should be satisfied. In that case, we can use nested if. Nested if. Getting my point? to perform one condition, to perform one item, we have to go across different conditions. So in that case we can use nested if. So to get this code, I have to satisfy all these cases. What if I am not satisfying this case? Like if I am saying in that way, if I am saying in this way that three conditions should be satisfied to get this block, then you can say we can keep that different cases in one if also, right? Using logical operator. What is the difference then? Right? You might get this confusion. We can use that three condition in one if block itself, if condition itself as a using this logical operator, using or operator or and operator, right? And operator we will use. There, like in if else we will use, if else ladder we will use or to say merge the conditions. Already one example I shown. Correct. In coding back. For merging two conditions of if else ladder, we used or, because both are two different cases. Here what we will use if I have to merge the condition, and because first condition should be satisfied, second condition should be satisfied, third also should be satisfied. Three conditions must, it is must that we have to satisfy three conditions. So then only we will reach this block. So if I can merge, then I have to use AND operation. Correct. But there is a problem. If I am satisfying this condition, I will come to this if block, right? What if I am not satisfying this condition? So first condition I am satisfying, second condition I am not satisfying. So at that time I have to perform some operation. So that will not be possible if I am giving all the condition in same line. Separately can I perform else part? If I am giving all the condition in same line, condition 1 and condition 2 and condition 3, can I perform separately that for second condition? If I am not satisfying, can I have to perform something else? Can I do that operation there? No. So for that kind of situation, this is the only one way. First condition is satisfying. If it is satisfying, we will enter into the if block. There another condition is there. Second condition should be satisfied. Then only I can enter into this if block. If second condition is not satisfying, where will I go? This else part. Right? If the block of code is starting from here to here. Like this is the block of code of second if. So else part of second if is what? This one. Getting my point? First if is there, block of code is starting from there to here. This is the block of code. So for the first case, if I am not satisfying first case, it will directly come to this else part. If I am satisfying the condition, then I will enter into the if block. Again one if is there. This is the block of code. Correct. If this condition is not satisfying, then I can write the particular code here. Understanding? Then if it is satisfying, then I will enter into the if block. Another condition is there. This is the condition. If this condition is satisfying, then one block of code is there. If the third condition is not satisfying, then else is there, right? For each if and else we for each if we have else pairs. Understanding this logic? Any doubt? Understanding or what? Everyone. So where we can use this? Any idea? Like even I can create even more if and else combinations. I created 3. That means that does not mean that I have to use always 3 or I have to always use this 3 if pairs, if and else pairs. No, I can use n numbers. It can be 2, more than 1. That is nested if, right? If it is only one pair is there, that means normal if and else is there. More than. Consider an example, just an example of nested if. This is not a program, just an idea. So if I am saying, if you are considering this nested if concept as an interview process. First round of, we have several rounds of interview. We are considering 3 rounds are there. First round will be tech, 1. Second round we are considering as tech 2. Then technical interview 2. Technical interview 1. Then finally, if we are clearing all that interviews, what we will get? HR round, right? HR interview. So in HR interview we will discuss about the packages, all those things. If we are satisfied, we will get the, if both of them, HR and both of us are satisfying, then we will get the offer letter, right? Then if I am not clearing that HR round, what will happen? We will directly go to else. Either it can be we failed in HR round, or I rejected that offer. It can be anything. I am just keeping here failed. Then what about tech 2? We will start from the beginning. Tech 1. I am attending tech 1 interview. So if that interview, if I am clearing that interview, what will I get? I will get an acknowledgement, right? What will I get? Tech 1 cleared. Wait for the update of tech 2. Fine. Something. Just for understanding, I am giving this idea. Then if I am clearing this tech 2 round, I am clearing the tech 2 round. What will happen? We will directly come to tech. What we will get from the as a message here. Tech 2 round is also pass. Then wait for the updates of HR round. So HR will also contact us. In after that interview, if we are clearing that round, we will get the offer letter. And if I am not clearing HR round, I will fail in the HR round. So if I am failing in any round, I will not get any other opportunity to get the offer letter, right? That means failed. 3 conditions are there. If I am failing anywhere, I will not get offer letter. Then what about second tech 2? If I am failing in tech 2, I will directly come to this else block. So here what we will say? Failed in where? Which round? Tech 2 round. Then what about this one? If I am failing in tech 1, I will not get a chance for attending this tech 2, right? I will directly go to else of that if. Correct. What will be the message here? Failed in tech 1 itself. So I will not get any other opportunity to attend tech 2 or HR. This you can consider as an example. Example for nested if. What you can consider as an example for if else ladder? Plan A, plan B, plan C selection. Correct. For this you can take this as an example, so that like why I am giving this as an example, because you will not confuse with that ideas, right? Understanding what I am saying? The basic logic of if else ladder and nested if is different. What is the difference? In if else ladder, it is a kind of selection. We are selecting one plan based on the priority. Correct. Here what is happening? It is a kind of interview process. We have to clear all the conditions to reach the final outcome. To reach the final outcome point. Right. To get the offer letter, I have to clear all the interview rounds. So this you can take as a simple example to remember what is the concept of if else ladder and nested if. It will be easy for you to recollect if one example is there, right? Fine. So we will do one program. What we can select as a program for this? Okay, leap year program is there, right? How we can do leap year program? I already given one idea, that is simple if and else. So how many conditions we have to write here? Like in one line we are going to write all the conditions. So I will take one here. Scanner equal to then enter the year, then you can use any short also you can use as a data type here, right? Scanner dot next int, then year, come year. What is the condition? Two cases are there. You don't have to remember, like you don't have to memorize that. You can just create the logic then and there. Two cases are there for leap year. What are the cases? It can be century year or non-century year. If it is a non-century year, what we will do? If it is a century year or if it is a non-century year, for both of that we have to write the condition. So consider one item here and continue the process. Year, century, how can I find out? 100. Century. What is century? 100, right? So year should be divisible by 100, so we can say that is a century. If it is a century year, then it should be divided by 400. Yes, year modulus 400 equal to 0. Okay, fine. If it is not the case, then another condition is also there, right? It can be non-century year. So what is the case of non-century year? Okay, in that case actually I can directly give 4 divided by 4, right? Because anyway century year will be taken here. Okay, we will give that both together first, then we will try to change that idea. Not, right? Not equal to 0. That means what? This is not a century year. This condition will true when year is not a century year. If it is not a century year, then it should be also divisible by 4. The data also should be divisible by 4. Then if any of this condition is satisfying, then I can say what? Year is a leap year. But I already said we have to create methods, right? Correct. I already said you have to create methods for all different programs. So what we can do is, this logic we will keep in a method. Cut. How can I create a method? Public static void. Okay, we will change the data type later. Void. Okay, is leap year. Is leap year. How many data is required for this method? What is that? Int year. Fine. Then inside I can keep this condition. Correct? So if this condition is satisfying, what I will do is I will return if this condition is satisfying, then I will return true. If it is a leap year, I will return true. If it is not a leap year, then return what change I have to make now? Return type is what? So how can I call this in this main method? to perform, like the result I should get is the year is leap year or the year is not leap year. How can I get that result in main method? Here from this method I will get boolean data, but using that boolean data I have to print some statement. How can I use that? Good if is leap year, then I don't have to compare boolean data with another boolean data, right? This is what it is, a method call, right? What is the selected portion? It is a method call. What will be the return type of that method? We can expect true or false value, right? If a true value is coming into if, which block will perform? If block. I don't have to compare that with another boolean data. If I am comparing also, what I am creating there? Another boolean data. What is the use of it? Are you understanding that concept? So directly that true will taken by the false, the if. True will be taken by if. If it is true, if block will perform. If it is false, then else block will perform. Any doubt in this concept? Because this concept, everyone, like I have seen that lot of people are getting confused in this point. Is that getting clear? Is that understanding? Everyone, if a boolean data is coming, I can use boolean variable or I can use boolean method. This is a boolean method, right? The method returns boolean data. So boolean variable, boolean method, for all these things we don't have to compare that with another boolean value, because already it is a boolean data. If will directly take that boolean value. If boolean true, then if block will perform. If boolean false, then else block will perform. You don't have to compare that. Then if it is true, what will I do here? What can I do here? I have to print the value also. Then okay, year plus is leap year, correct? Okay, then in else part, year is not a leap year. Any doubt in this? So we have three different conditions, right? Like century years are there in leap year, non-century years are there in leap year. If a data is century year, it should be divisible by 400. So tell me a number which is not divisible by 400. Century year but not divisible by 400. 100. Okay. 100 is not a leap year. Then any other number? 400 is divisible by 400, right? Is a leap year. So we can take our year values, actual year values. 1900. Is that a leap year? Not a leap year. We will give 1600. Right? Then another one. So we focused on all the century datas. Can we try some non-century values? Non-century. 2020. 2020 will be what? Any doubt? So are you understanding what is leap year, the logic behind leap year, and also how we can implement that? So we implemented that in single if else condition, right? How can I separate this into different, like I am going to write the same code in different logic, in different way, In how many ways I can make the same code? So you can see over here, right? We already like combined two conditions when we were discussing in that coding bat. So how can I separate this into two parts? Cut. Else, if, condition, what is the condition? Paste. What will be the block? Same block, right? Correct? Are you understanding this logic? Everyone? This is also same, right? We given that condition in different lines. Correct. Here we given the condition in 2 lines. Because the block of code is same, so we can combine this also, right? First we wrote the combined version, then we separated that into 2. Both are same, right? In logically that both conditions are same. First we will check for what? This condition. If this condition is satisfying, we will print true. This condition is for century years. If the year data is not a century year, then it will directly come to check non-century year condition. If this is true, then we will return true, right? If both the conditions are not satisfying, then false. It is same as this one, right? If any of this condition is satisfying, any of the above condition is satisfying, we will print true. Correct. Any of the above condition is satisfying, we will print true. If both the conditions are not satisfying, then we will print false. Any doubt? I want to make sure that you are understanding the basic concept. Correct. Even if you are seeing a code in this way, or if you are seeing the code in different way, idea is same. Code I can write in different ways. There will be n solutions for same program, but basic idea will be same. Understanding? Everyone? Yes. Where we will use nested if? Correct. Where we will use? Here I am using AND operator, right? Can I remove this AND operator? If I am removing this AND operator and splitting this condition into 2 parts, how can I write that condition? First I will check for year is a century year or not. If it is a century year, then I have to check for understanding. If it is a century year, then I have to check for whether it is divisible by 400 or not. If it is divisible, then I will say true. If it is not a century year, I can directly come and check for 4, right? Because century year, it is not a century year, I can directly come and check for divisible by. So same leap year program we can write in different ways. This is the first way. Here we are writing all the conditions in same line. All the conditions in same line. So this is the first condition and this is the second condition. All the conditions we are writing in the same line. Using OR operator, we are writing both the conditions. So if any of this condition is satisfying, I can say it is leap year. If both the conditions are not satisfying, then I will say it is not a leap year. Another different logic is also there. We can write the same thing in different logic. This is the second one. So first time I am writing the condition. This is the first condition. This is the condition for century years, because the year is divisible by 0 and also it should be divisible by 400. If both the cases are satisfying, we are using AND operator. So if both the cases are satisfying, then I can say it is a leap year. If this condition is not satisfying, then I have another possibility also. The year can be non-century year. So we are checking that. If it is a non-century year, I have to check for divisibility of 4. If both the cases are satisfying, then I can say it is a leap year. If none of this condition is satisfying, both the conditions are not satisfying, then it will come directly to else part. What we will print there? It is not a leap year. So we are giving false there. This is second logic. Then third logic. What is third logic? First we are checking whether the item is, whether the year value is century year or not. If it is a century year, then we will come directly to this if and else. Nested if, right? The selected portion is nested if, right? Yes or no? If it is true, we will come into the if block. Inside that if block, we have another if, that is nested if. Nesting inside if. I am talking about this portion. Yes or no? Any doubt? Okay. So if this is wrong, the year is not a century year, then it will come directly to else part. Actually here I don't have to check any condition. Again, why I am checking? I don't have to check the condition, right? Else is enough. Correct. If year is not a century year, it will directly come to else block. Inside else block, what we are doing? We are checking for, come on, tell me. Non-century year should be divisible by 4, then only it will become a leap year. Otherwise, false. That is why I said we don't have to keep any another else here. So this is enough, right? See, this will be the final code for this third logic. This logic is really big. If we are writing this logic, we are using lot of lines here. Correct. Century year, that must be divisible by 400, then only I can say it is a leap year. If it is not divisible by 400, that is not leap year. If it is not, here itself I am going to else block, because this is not satisfying. When this will not satisfy, when year value is not a century year, at that time it will directly come to else block. If it is not a century year, what I have to check? Divisibility by 4. If it is divisible by 4, it is a leap year. Otherwise it is not a leap year. Any doubt? 3 different logic for same program we discussed. Correct. So you can select any of this logic. Best logic will be what? It depends on the programmer. You can select any logic. Here I selected this logic so that the number of line is reduced. That's why I am using this condition. Conditions are same, right? All the conditions are there. Whatever condition we are using, all the conditions are here. But I am using this logical operator and brackets, everything to keep all the conditions in same line. So this will also give the same answer. all other two logics also will give the same answer. You can select any of this. Any doubt? Leap year logic. So this portion of the code is an example for nested if. This portion of the code is an example of, if you are not considering this part, consider remaining items. What is the example? What example we are getting here? If else ladder. Correct. If and else portion is nesting inside else also, right? So this you can consider as an example of both together, because we have if else combination in if block and also else block. Getting my point? If we are taking this portion, this is nested if example. If we are taking if with this else part, this is if else ladder example. Fine. Any doubts? So we are going to discuss about switch. Switch is similar to what? If else ladder. If I am taking all the variants of if is actually working with the Boolean data, right? If is an application, we can say if it's an application of Boolean data, we are working with the Boolean values. If Boolean value is not given to the if, it will not work, because it is working based on that Boolean data, right? Correct. But switch is not working based on Boolean data. Switch is not working based on Boolean data. That is a difference between if else ladder and switch. All if variants are working based on Boolean data. Switch is not working based on the Boolean data. In switch I can pass the data values, normal values, integer data, or I can pass character data. And also there is a limitation. I cannot give all data types. I cannot give Boolean data type. I cannot pass Boolean data value. I cannot pass Boolean value into switch. So find out how many data types I can use with the switch. Search. Find out how many data types I can use. So byte, short, char, int, string. These are the 5 data types which will work with switch. Remaining Boolean, float, double, long. These data types I cannot work with switch. There is a limitation. So what is the syntax of switch? How can I create switch? Switch, then here we will pass the value, or it can be a variable. Like usually we will pass variable. Correct. Here we can pass variable. We are not giving condition. Like if we are not giving condition, here we are passing the variable. So variable should be in which data type? It can be in any of this data type. It should not be this data type. It will not work with this data type. Switch will not work with this data type. Fine. So switch I am opening here. Then what is the use of switch? There will be some different cases. Case value 1. I can write the block of code here. Then after this, case value 2. Value 2 means what? The possible value. The possible value for this variable. So if variable contains 1 and the first value I am giving here is also 1 in case, then which block will perform? Case 1 block will perform. So this way, consider this variable is integer variable and it is containing 1. So internally it will compare the case value and variable data. It will compare both, and if it is matching, that particular block will perform. Any doubt? Any doubt? So consider this is an integer data. It contains value 1. Case is also there with value 1. So it will directly, internally it will compare the data and it will perform the particular block. And so this is the basic idea of switch. Then if you are giving a value which is, here I am giving 2. If you are giving a value in variable as 10, can you find out case 10 here? Case 1 and case 2 is there, right? So you don't have to specify, consider you don't have to specify the 10th value. 10th value is not there in your case. That case you are not giving. So you can write one thing. There is a portion called default for this switch. So whatever data, if variable is containing the value which is not in these cases, it will directly come to default. By default, this will be the case for that unknown value. All cases we will list here. So internally it will check the variable data with all the cases. If we are not finding a match, it will directly go to default. If we are finding a match, then we will perform that particular block and it will directly come out of the switch. Understanding working flow? Everyone? So here also we can write block, default block. But one problem is there with the switch. If I am performing case 1, it will perform all, like if my variable is 1, value in the variable is 1, it will compare with this one. We are finding a match here, right? We will perform this block of code. After performing this block of code, one more item is there in syntax, that is break. This is a statement. This is a jump statement, actually jump statement of Java. Jump statement means what? If we are performing this line of code, we will come out of that block of code. If I am performing break, what will happen? The very inner or the very near block of code we will skip. Like we will come out of that block of code. Usually we will use this break with the looping statement. We will discuss looping statement. At that time you will get the clear idea. Usually we will use this break with the looping statement. Otherwise we can use that break statement with the switch. So break statement can be performed only in switch or any looping statement. Understanding? Here it is must. After performing the block of code of one case, we have to give break, so that at that point it will come out of the switch. Otherwise it will again continue working. That we don't have to allow, right? If one case we are saying, that case only we should perform. We don't have to again go to the next case and perform, right? For that we are giving that break. So here we have to give break, and here also we have to give break, because one second case is also completing here, right? Block of code will perform. After that break should be there, so that it will not go to the next case. It will directly come out of the switch. Any doubt? So break, some another things are also there in jump statement. You can search that, because we will discuss that in tomorrow or coming days. Before that itself you can just read, because break and jump statements are actually small things. We can easily learn. So any doubt in this? We did one program, right? Weekday program. Correct, weekday program. How we did that program? What was the logic? Yes, if else ladder. You will take a value from user. You will compare that value with all the different possible items. What are the possible items we had in that program? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data, right? If it is equal to 1, you will print what? Sunday. So here also you can, that is why we said we already discussed that if else ladder is a switch is working same as if else ladder. Switch is working same as if else ladder. So the only difference is it will not work with the Boolean data, so we have to give the variable, and we can list down case 1, case 2, case 3 up to case 7. In block of code we can give print Sunday, print Monday, print Tuesday. In default we can keep what? Invalid data, because user entered input is not in the range of 1 to 7, so it is invalid data. So same it will work like if else ladder. The only difference is it will not accept any of this data, and also it is not working with the Boolean value. Understanding? This is the only one thing like we have to know about switch. Remaining you can implement that in any program. If you are understanding this idea, then you can implement that in any program. So here I am going to give you one program. Same as weekdays, you don't have to do the same weekday program. Same like weekday program, can you print month name? Same, but this time you have to use that with the switch. So do one thing, create two methods in your program. Create a new class, create new methods in your program. So you can say get month name using switch. Okay, get month name using switch. This is the method name that I am giving. Method name. Get month name using switch. How many datas you have to pass? How many datas? How many datas you have to give into this method to get the answer? 1, right? So that we can consider as integer or any data type. Then what will be the result? You can decide what will be the result. What we are going to, if we are printing the data, then you can directly print void you can use. If you are printing the data, if you are passing that as a string, then you can use return type as string. In main method you can print the data. That will be better. That switch this month name will be taken into the string data. It will return to the main method. In main method we will print it. Try to implement. Try to implement this program. This is the method I am giving. One more method I will create, I will create the structure of one more method here. So by seeing this, what you are understanding? Method name is what? Method name is get method name using switch. So you have to implement switch in that. Then how many datas are there? In one data you will get in this method. Using that data you have to find out the result. Then what is the return type? String. Okay, so I will create one more method here so that you can create that one also in your program. Start doing, complete it fast. So this is your second method. These two methods you have to create right now. So how we can implement that program? We have to create, first we have to create a method, right? Public, static. What is the return type? What is the return type? Then method name. What can be a variable name? Like here I am giving month. Okay. Then here switch. Like what data we will pass here? Month. Then case 1. What is case 1? Return. I can directly type here return also. or else you can take that into a string variable. String variable also you can use, equal to empty string I am taking, correct. Then at last here what we will do, str, that variable name, then equal to, what is this portion, what I can give here, month 1, what is first month, okay. Then after completing that block of code, break, again case, in this way we have to complete all the months. After that, at last we can keep a default. What is the use of this default? If any case, like all the cases are not matching, then it will directly come to default. It is like else part, right? In if else ladder, final else is for what? Referring the default value. So here default is what? str equal to invalid. So we will come out of the switch. At last we can keep return str. In this way also you can write. You have to add all the remaining items. 10 more items are there, right? 3, 4 till 12. So that it will become full month day program. So each time what you are doing, you are creating that, you are adding that data into string variable. Or else you can also do one thing, you can directly, okay, I will comment it, you can directly write here what? You can directly write here what? Return string data. It is string data only, right? Return string. Return string means it will not perform any other thing here. It will directly go to the program, our main method. So in each line you can write return also. If return. Why it is showing error? One error is there. Why it is showing error? If I am performing return, will I perform any other code here? I will directly go to next, like where we have called this method, in that to that portion we will pass the transfer, right? Control flow. Control will transfer to that line. So this method, this line will not perform at that time if I am giving return inside the case. So break we can comment. Break is not useful, right? Break we don't have to use at that line, because we are directly passing the control back to the method code. So break we can comment. That no need of using break there. But if I am not using return here, I am trying to print, or I am trying to add that into string, then what will happen? We have to keep break, otherwise we will get all the answers. I will show you that example also. Like are you understanding this example? This one? Okay, then I will show you that example also. Instead of taking that into string, I am directly going to print. So when I am printing, or when I am taking data into my variable, like if I am not using a return statement, I have to perform break. If there is return, we don't have to use break. If there is no return, we have to use break. And return should be inside the block of code, this case block. If I am using return here, I have to use break here, right? Inside the switch, if I am using return, I can avoid break. Otherwise, I have to use break. So, are you understanding this line of code? We are directly printing. We are not going to return anything. We are directly printing. But this is not the correct way. Whatever way you are writing the program, that is correct. You have to follow that. This is just for your understanding I am showing. So, what will I get as a result for this program? If I am giving 1, what will I get? If I am giving 2, if I am giving 3, invalid for this program, right? Okay, I am taking out this break and I will give the value as, I am giving the value as 1. Okay, I am not taking this, right? I have to implement main method first. I'm not giving message. You have to give message before taking the value. You have to ask for the value. I'm not keeping that message here for my, just for performing this code. I'm just writing these lines. What happened? So it will not ask for any value here because I am not using print statement. I am giving 1. What will I get? What will I get? January, right? Confirm? January, February? Why we are getting all? Because it is not breaking anywhere. So it will enter properly, but exit also we have to say. That is why we are using break. It should stop here, otherwise it will go to the next cases also. That's it. To give that idea, I given this, I given this code. But whatever code you are writing is correct. You have to you can either use variable to collect all the data, or you can use return statement, because this is a method, right? It should return something. Okay, any doubt? So print 1 to 5 numbers using println statement. You can print either in this way, in same line, or you can print either in different lines, one by one. Printed. Which operation you are doing here? Multiple, like repeatedly. Which operation you are doing repeatedly? Printing operation, right? System.out.println you are using multiple times here. Here also we are actually printing same items. But if I am saying you already created a program, and I am saying this time I want to get the data not 1 to 5, 1 to 10. What change you can make? Here you have to write the code. 10 datas you have, 5 more datas you have to add. Here how many lines you will add? Okay, consider this is 5 datas. Already I said to create 5 datas, right? 3, 4, 5. So to make it as 10, 5 more in both the cases. How many lines? 10 lines. If I am saying 100, so which operation is repeatedly performing? Printing, right? Number is changing every time. First time we are printing 1, second time we are printing 2. Number is changing, operation is same. If I am saying 1000 times you have to print, 1 to 1000 numbers you have to print. How much time it will take for you to complete the code? Right. So we can use this repeatedly performing code. We can keep in a block of code which will repeat again and again. The operation which should repeat again and again, we can keep that in a block of code. Understanding? That block of code will repeat again and again. We don't have to write that code one by one. Getting my point? That is, for that we can use what? How many type of loops are there? Loops are not only for printing. This is just one example. I have to print 1 to 1000 numbers, which is not possible without loops, right? That is just an example. So we have different types of loops: for, while, and do, while. Do while we will discuss later. For and while is there. For all looping concept, 4 things you have to focus. For all looping concepts. First point is initial data value. Initial value. Second, what will be the second item? Any idea? Condition. Because if I am saying 1 to 5 numbers, what is the condition there? So I am starting from 1. Initial data is what? 1. Condition will be what? That value which I am printing every time, it should not go beyond 5, because 5 is the largest value, right? So condition is there. So I am saying print 1 to 5. That is my question. So starting value is what? Initial value is what? 1. Condition is what? If I am taking this 1 into a variable, consider it is I. So every time what should I check? It should not go beyond the range, upper limit. Correct. So every time what can I check here? I always should be less than or equal to the upper limit. So that is a condition there. Then only I will perform the operation repeatedly as per my requirement, right? Then what is the third thing which is important? That is fourth. After checking the condition, I have to perform the operation or block of code. Block of code. Block of code which we have to repeat multiple times. That we have to specify. After this, what is important? Change in value. The value should be changing, right? Consider I am starting with 1. I am checking for a condition. If this condition is satisfying, then I will perform the block of code 1 time. After that, I am not changing the value. What will happen? Value will remain same. Again it will come and check the condition. When it will stop the execution? Only if the condition is not satisfying. For all the cases where condition is satisfying, it will repeat the block of code. Getting my point? For all the cases where condition is satisfying, we will repeat the block of code. Whatever data is given in that block, we will repeat. Perform one time. Again we will go. So we have to change the data every time. First time, what is the block of code here in our program? Print I. Correct. Print I is our operation here in this program, because I said I have to print 1 to 5 numbers. So print I is the operation you have to perform every time. So first time what data will print in I? First time which data will print in I? 1. Then second time what data will print? Because we have to change. What change we have to give? I. Actually we have to use I plus equal to 1. That is I plus plus. Correct. I plus plus is what? I plus equal to I data is changing, right? If I have to change the data of I twice, like 2 with by 2, I have to change the data. How can I write the code? By 2. Can I use I plus 2? No, because I value is not get updated here, right? If I have to update the I value, means I plus equal to 2 I have to give. That is the difference I am saying. For I plus equal to 1, I can specify I plus plus. But if I have to increment by 2 or 10, any other number, I cannot give I plus that value. Correct. Here the I value is not getting updated. So in that cases we have to use I plus equal to that value. For only 1 we can use I plus plus. That things we already discussed, right? I plus plus, what is the use of I plus plus, how it is working, we discussed that. Fine. So 4 items we define here, right? We will try to implement these 4 items in our loop.
Mark attendance. Bookmark this page. Click here for session feedback. Previous.
So 4, this is the syntax of 4. So first we have to specify the initial value. 4 things we are considering, right, for all the looping statements. So what first thing will be what? Initial value, then semicolon, we will give the condition. We will give the condition, then next third portion of this will be change in value. Change in value. Then we will start the block. This part will be what? 4. This part will be for what? Block of code. So this particular block will repeat again and again till the condition is, until the condition is satisfying. If the condition is not satisfying, then it will stop the execution. It will come out of the loop. So this is the syntax of for loop. Same for while loop, what will be the syntax? There is no difference between, actually there is no difference between while and for. I can do anything with any for loop. I will give you this idea of this while loop syntax also, then we will wind up the session for today. So while loop, how we can give the while loop condition? This is a syntax of for loop. So syntax of while loop. First we have to specify initial value outside, because in for loop we have this separate area. 3 separate areas are there where we can keep initial value, condition, change in value and block of code. But in while loop we don't have any other like 3 different parts in, like in this parenthesis. That is not there in while loop. We have only condition. We have only this condition part inside the parenthesis. Remaining things where we will keep initial value, we will keep outside here. Then where we will keep block of code? In this block. after all the block of code, we will keep the change in value inside the same block of code. Understanding? Syntax difference is there that you have to understand. Remaining all the working is same. Getting my point? I will also give you more idea, like in which position we can easily use for loop, or in which position we can easily use while loop. But the working and this internal operation and working, everything is same. Understanding? So in for loop, we will first initialize the value, we will come to condition, and we will perform block of code. Then we will go to the value change. Again it will check condition, it will come to the block of code, it will check, it will update the value, condition, block of code, value, till the condition is getting, like until the condition is satisfying, it will perform again and again. When the condition is not satisfying, we will come out of the loop. Here also same thing. Initial value, condition will be checking. If the condition is satisfying, then we will enter into the block and we will change the data. We will again check the condition. We will perform the block. If it is condition is satisfying, we will perform the block. If condition is not satisfying, we will come out of the block. Understanding the working of for loop and while loop? Any doubts? Any doubts? So 4 things you have to focus. With these 4 things we can do anything on looping concept. So if I am saying print 1 to 5, how you can write a code for printing 1 to 5 data using looping statement? First we will try for loop. So in for loop, what is the syntax of for loop? For, we need a variable initial value. So int I. In this I, we will keep the very first initial data. What is initial data here? Equal to 1. Understanding? Then next portion is for what? What can be the condition to print 5 datas? I less than or equal to 5. If I am not giving equal to, what will happen? The last printing value of I is what? I will be 4. So that is why we are giving equal to. We have to get 5 also. Then what change? I plus plus. Then what we will do inside the block? I set to print. So we required print statement. Correct. Print statement, then I we will print. What will be the output of this code? Correct. So in one line I am printing 1 to 5, right? Can I make this code for printing 1 to 1000? What change I have to make? Initial value is same, right? Condition will be what? 1000. Run the program. Is that printing 1000 numbers? Within how much time it is taking? How much line we are writing? That is a difference. Like, it is not only for printing something, we can do any operation repeatedly using loop. Any doubts? So same thing, how we can write in while loop? Only even number you have to print. How can I, from where I can start? Only even number I have to print. So from where I can start? First data will be what? I don't have to, like, I can do that in different ways. I can check here I modulus 2 equal to 0. That means even data. If that is the case, then I will print I. Correct. I am checking one condition. What is the condition? In for loop I am checking one condition. What is the condition? I modulus 2 equal to 0. That means I is an even number. If I is an even number, then I will print. Otherwise I am not doing anything, right? It is skipping. But in this way, how many time my loop is working? How many time my loop is iterating? 1000, correct, 1 to 1000, but it is only printing 500 datas. 1000 times the loop is working, 500 datas are printing, correct. 500 datas means what? 2 will print, 4 will print, each time one data is skipping, right? 1 is not printing, 3 is not printing, correct. So instead of this I can also use one another technique. What is that? Any idea? Any idea? I am starting with the 1, 1000 is also there. I can start with what? 2. I can start with 2. Then what change I have to give here? Plus equal to 1 now. Plus equal to 2. So how many times my loop will work? I don't have to compare, check here. Because 2 plus 2 is what? 4. 4 plus 2 is what? 6. 6 plus 2. All the datas are what? Even numbers. So how many times my loop is working now? 500. Which loop is good? This one or this one? Number of iteration is reducing means our time is also increasing, right? Performing time. Within short time we will get the result. So every time you have to focus on reducing the number of lines, number of repetition, line of code, everything we have to minimize. Any doubt? Same thing can you give the idea of performing in while loop? Then we will wind up. While first initial data int I equal to 1 or 2, which one we are doing here? This one, the same variable we will create. So initial data is 2. Then while condition, what is the condition? I less than or equal to 1000 will be the condition. Then what is the code I have to repeatedly perform? Okay. Then what is the change in data? That we have to change after printing. So I am commenting this portion and running the program. What will I get? While and for is introduced. Remaining you have to work out more logic. Working of while and for is introduced. We will do more programs in coming days. Tomorrow, starting from tomorrow, I will also share you some programs. You can start working on that. 27 problems already there, right? I will add some more. 10 programs so that you can work out that programs for today.